Welcome back to Truck Central. Mr. Justin Wheeler here with the 2019 Ram 1500 Limited High Mileage Edition. Today's video, we are going to tackle a problem that the dealer said that they could not fix. We've covered this in a couple other videos in the past, and the problem that the dealer had was that I took it in to have them fix it because it's such a pain in the butt to get that axle shaft out on this passenger side. And the dealer said that they physically could not fix it. They had it for a week and they gave up and said that they couldn't fix it. And so here I am. It has gotten worse, the tear's gotten bigger, and I don't want to glue it anymore. So we are going to try a different repair. Before we get into that, I do want to say thank you to Real Truck. They are the sponsor this season for Truck Central. After the video, click the link in the description and buy yourself something nice. So this is the part. Dorman Unifit C14003. I have no clue if this is the right part. Literally, Ram does not make a part number for this, or there's not one out there. So it's literally just going to be trial and error. So I got this one because it looks similar, and we're going to try to fix it. Now, what would make this process easier is a little tool like that, CV Boot Air Tool. I don't have one of those, so we're going to have to get creative. But before we do that, we've got to finish tearing this down. Now, we are halfway, or right in the middle of the brake upgrade video, and that's obviously going to be separate, but the 250,000 mile brakes are finally getting replaced. So while we're this far into it, figured now would be a good time to try and get that boot properly repaired and not rely on super glue. All right, so this is what we're working with. We took the upper ball joint nut off, disconnected the tie rod end, loosened the axle nut, or took it off, loosened the bottom ball joint, and so this is what we're left with. And obviously that's the problem. So I'm gonna clean up a little bit, get all this junk off. We're gonna cut that, remove the boot, clean what's in there, and try to get it all dry, because now the next step is going to be to get that axle boot over this big bulbous conical shaped thing. Yeah, and it's all floppy and greasy and dirty, so that'll make things tough. So we're going to try to take care of that, and when we get back, this is going to look brand new-ish. All right, so we got the old boot off. It's obviously dirty, but luckily and surprisingly there wasn't a lot of grit in there. It stayed fairly clean, so the super glue and grease repacking we did seemed to do its job. And we got that cleaned up, so now it's time to put this on. They are pretty comparable in size. Oops. This one's probably a little bit longer, but it's made to where you can trim it down to size, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to cut nothing until we get it on there. Really wish I had the tool. So we're going to have to get a little creative. Probably have to flip this inside out and lube that up and try to flip it over on itself, I guess. So I'll get the camera back out once we got a plan. Currently I have no plan. Okay, so it's the next day, and we're pretty clean. Henry talked some sense into me, and we just got things cleaned up. Wow, on camera that looks actually really better than it is in real life, but looks pretty good. Instead of trying to muscle that boot on over the tapered end of the CV shaft, I checked one more time online for the right tool. Now, prior to this, so this is the next day, day 2. Yesterday morning, I had looked all over for the tool to do this. I couldn't find it anywhere locally. Checked online, nothing. And then yesterday afternoon, I checked one more time, and lo and behold, Amazon had it. Next day delivery. here's how it works. You put air on the back side here. You push this button. It came with the boot. That looks like the boot I got.
No.
It's a little smaller. My boot's bigger. We'll probably need the bigger boot. You push the button and it spreads it out. So I didn't think I'd be able to get one in time, so we were going to do it the hard way, but this somehow became available in the afternoon and it wasn't available in the morning, and so we're going to do it. All right. We'll put the fitting on and put the air on it, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so we put the air on it. This is how it's supposed to go. You hit the plus sign. Wow. You slide that over the axle shaft, and then you release. What kind of medieval OBGYN doctor came up with this thing? Good Lord. That's what we needed. I don't think we could have done that better ourselves. Okay. So we'll put on our boot. We'll bring the camera in close on this and we'll record this process. That way if we screw this up, we can all laugh at my expense. Okay, I've got the camera in the inner fender there, so if you can't see, I apologize. I'm gonna go ahead and put some gloves on just in case. Think it's gonna work?
I think it is. I just hoping we can slip it off without it tearing.
If we tear this thing, we're just gonna go without a rubber. We're gonna raw dog it until this thing falls apart. So here we go. We're gonna grow. That ain't gonna be enough. We gotta crank up the air pressure. Is that all? That's not all this thing's got. Express cook. Okay, we delicately heated the boot. For whatever reason, it isn't quite as elastic as the boot that this thing comes with. All right, so let's try it again. That's better for sure. We're a mile away though. Oh man, it's super tight. Yeah, we're not there. Okay, that's gross. What happened to your glove?
I don't know. I got it.
Will you hand me that other boot? Just out of curiosity, I want to see how much
Tension you can
wider
put on it.
this thing gets. It's a lot smaller than the factory boot, though. It's a lot more rubbery.
Rubbery, yes. Maybe because this has been in the cold all day.
Man, I don't even know if... Okay, so yeah, that would
do
do it.
Yeah.
We got to get that stretchy.
Right.
I guess I'm going to have to carefully heat that again. Because while this might work, I don't think this is big enough. Because this is the factory boot we cut off.
Yeah, it's way too small.
Way smaller. Let me see.
That's,
That one's even borderline,
yep.
but closer. So yeah, we're going to have to heat that up some more. All right, so this thing is a little softer now. We really gave it the business in there in the kitchen. How long did we cook this thing for? About a minute and a half?
1 minute and 30 seconds. Oh, there you go. Still got to go on more.
Do I? That's way bigger.
Well, yeah, it is, but it's still got a ways to go.
No. Just go. I wish we could... There was a pressure regulator on this thing we could hit. Give it more pressure. I don't think we're there yet.
Nope.
Boy, we're closer though.
About a half an inch.
Where's that smoke coming from? Is it melting rubber? Man, that's so close. I feel like it's inching in there. I guess the end of the CV shaft will fit into the kind of the bell shape of this tool.
There we go, right there.
Oh, that was the problem.
Hang on.
What's going on here?
It moves over. Now, right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
What happened? It's slowly going in. Give it some more air pressure. I don't think it's going to open anymore, which is unfortunate. So once it gets past this little dip in the forks, or the tines, whatever it's called, it should slide over and allow us to release the pressure. But, man, we're still
struggling just to get it over.
But it does feel like it's going in.
Oh, it's gone a long way. It's almost, this side's in almost, but this side's
I'm not sure. Is this easier or harder than just replacing the whole axle shaft?
It won't open anymore, huh?
That's it. Unless we heat the rubber some more, which we may, oh, it's going.
There you go.
It's going. All this grease on my hands is finally paying off. Watch your fingers in.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
There we are. There you go.
And this stuff just gets easier and easier. The problem is we're bottomed out. I don't think we're going to be able to release the tension.
Oh, that's right. Nope, we're not.
This tool is not designed for this size of a shaft. Cue the "that's what she said" jokes.
Now how the hell are you gonna?
How are we gonna get that off over the ends? Well, this is quite the situation here. Oh no, our boot tore.
Oh, great.
Look at that.
Look at that. Oh no, there it goes. And it's got to. Damn. It'll come off now.
I'll be.
It wasn't big enough, Justin.
Well, you saying I need a bigger boot?
You need a bigger boot.
Shoot. Okay, I do not recommend the Dorman 614003. God bless America. Well, that's great. Okay. I need a bigger boot. Bigger boot. We'll be back tomorrow when Amazon truck arrives. All right, so we might have had a breakthrough this morning. I took the boot, the OEM boot that we cut off of my original, CV shaft. I took it into Advanced Auto to see what I could find. I was willing to honestly even buy a split boot and try that. But they didn't have any, but what they did have was a slightly different part number. Now, mind you, these part numbers are not described well at all. But she went through all her available parts, and she found that guy. Now, I know the sizes are off, but what the important size is this, and it is close. Now, this one is extremely rigid, at least in comparison to this. This flexes a lot, so this will stretch and compress, where this one, not quite as fun. So I'm sure this has a much better, is much better against like penetrations and lacerations, but it's also not elastic at all. So I think I actually feel pretty good about this. So I'm gonna get this old one off. Last night, we fought and tried to get that slimy booger on there, but it was just too small. It just wasn't the right size, but I was kind of desperate. But now I'm going to cut that off, get that cleaned up again for the third time. We're going to go on with the new one. All right, so we cranked up the pressure on the old compressor. And we're going to try this again. All right, Hen, you ready?
Perfect.
That's much better. Okay, how close are we?
And this thing may go up right there, straight in.
Okay.
We're in.
Now the problem is
What?
that
How do you?
this thing's not big enough for this. Pressure releasing it didn't come off. So we gotta be careful not to tear this thing. But we're close now. I think last time we were able to just get one edge off. Oh shit, it's tearing. No. No, you little dirty.
I'm scared when we get to the end, it's gonna puncture it.
Well, at this point,
That's all we can do. Huh?
point of no return. We're close. Oh man. Come on in, you got it. You got it in.
Go, baby.
Okay. How close are you? Let's kind of. Oh yeah, we're tearing the shit out of it.
Yep.
That's okay. Easy. Oops.
Oh God, thank you.
Super easy. Let's see how bad the damage is. Hopefully it's just right there on the part that we have to. Oh, dude, we lucked out. Hand, look where it tore.
Oh, well,
Just right there.
just right there.
It didn't tear down. It just kind of took a chunk out.
When you put the band on it, then hopefully it'll.
Hopefully you're right. All right, folks. Henry got her on there. Now, it's not beautiful. I know that this rubber's overhanging a little bit further than factory, but this generic boot was a little bit longer than stock. So we went ahead and took a gamble and pulled it up a little extra to give ourselves a little bit more contact area, and we even double banded it. So this is in the factory location, this inner connection, and this is in the inner location, or the normal factory outer location, and then we did a second one with this extra rubber we had laying around. The tools we used to do that, these little Amazon doodabs, I had never used these before. These are kind of a pain in the butt, but I don't know if you're gonna get better results with just some pliers. And then these guys kind of bend the ears over to retain it, and you know, you'll figure it out. CV boot clamps. So all right, now we're gonna clean up the best we can. We did put the grease in there, obviously, and we're gonna try to get her stabbed back in there. Seems like it's pretty tight, so I'm feeling optimistic. Finally. All right, guys, we did it. The CV boot is on. It was a little bit more time consuming and a little more difficult than I had originally expected. That was mostly because we were kind of going through the R&D phases of which boot would actually work. We had a total of 6 boots here in all, and the one that we found ultimately to be the only one that would fit, and the fit was there's a whole bunch out there that the diameters and the lengths are close enough, but with the size of the axle shaft and how much you have to stretch it and how these tools work, the Dorman Unifit 614004 is the only one that we can manage to make work. So between this, and these band tools, we'll leave links to where we got all this stuff. You can do this. The boot, it's probably going to be $20 to $30 depending on when and where you buy. The band tools are just about 20 bucks or so, and this guy is, I think it was 60 or 70. So not cheap. We're a little over $100 for the parts that we used, but it beats having to replace the whole axle shaft. So with that, we're going to close it out. One final thank you to Real Truck. They are the sponsor this season for Truck Central. Do me a favor, after the video, click their link in the description. Leave me a comment down below. You know I look forward to talking to you. As always, thanks for watching.